And the headline: Federal government uncovers 1,618 civil servants with fake employment letters. Nigerian army arrests alleged mastermind of Taraba killings. Court dismisses suit seeking removal of EFCC chairman Olukayode. And on the foreign scene, explosions at a military ammunition depot in Chad's capital kills 9. Hello, welcome to News Updates here on Trust TV. My name is Lilian Ogazi. And now to the news. The federal government has revealed that it is in the last 1 year uncovered 1,618 officers in the civil service with illegal and fake employment letters and have been deleted from the Integration Personal Payroll and Information System, IPPIS. Head of Civil Service of the Federation for Lashade Yemi Eshon made this known on Wednesday in Abuja during a media parley organized as part of programs making the 2024 Civil Service Week. She disclosed that through fiscal verification conducted by the ministries, departments and agencies of government, the once over-bloated federal civil service has now been brought down from over 100,000 to 69,300 who have been verified and are on the payroll. Yemi Eshon revealed that apart from the ghost workers who were parading fake employment letters, there was also the issue of some civil servants who japa for greener pastures in overseas that were caught napping during the physical verification exercise. Moving on, as the 10th National Assembly marked their 1 year in office, Nigerians are clamoring for better political representation that would address the yearnings and aspirations of the people. The National Assembly has come under heavy criticism for its perceived inability to align itself with the will of the people. Trust TV's Amarachi Amishi has more.
On June 13, 2023, the 10th National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria was inaugurated. As they mark 1 year in office, Nigerians are evaluating their performance against the backdrop of the country's current state. There is a growing call for the Assembly to prioritize the needs of the people who elected them.
I don't think they put the masses into consideration, and that's why we have increase in the cost of living and electricity tariff and co. While the banditry on the other aspect is going up, but the standard of living is increasing and nothing is like really moving.
Speaking on the anniversary, residents of the FCT gave mixed reaction on the performance of Nigerian bicameral legislature vis-a-vis the current state of affairs.
Look at the local government autonomy that they were talking about. These are something that I believe the National Assembly should rush into it because we are touching the grassroots.
How are we view Nigerian? Nigeria begins from individual family and individual home. Most masses that are blaming the government, my sister, if you even dig deep to their own personal business, they are worse than the government.
By virtue of Nigerian population, they should not expect to please self. They should not expect to please what? The people. They should expect to please the constitution that brought them to that system.
A former federal lawmaker with over 10 years of legislative experience in both House of Representatives and Nigerian Senate, Senator Ita Enang, emphasized the important role of the National Assembly in the governance process.
I want to apologize to the public for having this impression. And I want to urge my friends, my brothers and sisters in the National Assembly to take the public seriously. Take the public seriously, because the public is right the way they're feeling. Because in your own response, sometimes in even reacting to what the public is feeling, it is a reaction without empathy.
An advocate of anti-corruption campaign, Sunday Amos, says the story of underperformance by the political leaders hasn't changed much with the current National Assembly.
At the end of 1 year of this administration, it's the story of corruption. The triangle is now complete, especially with this particular 10th Assembly. It has become Nigeria, the three arms of Nigerian government has become a triangle of corruption. It's a three-arms zone of corruption. This is the image that some of us see from where we stand, and it is very unfortunate. I don't know where we're going to start the solution from, but presently what we are seeing after 1 year in office.
Nigeria continues to struggle with socio-economic inequality and poverty that have been often linked with the lack of political will by Nigerians' elites. The National Assembly, as the voice of the people, has taken its share of the blame for its lackluster performance in addressing the wants and needs of the people they represent. Amarachi Amoshi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And now moving over to Rivers State, where the State Independent Electoral Commission has said it has begun the process to conduct local government elections in the state. Now, this is contained in a statement by the state government. In a statement, public notice signed by the Chairman, Chief Electoral Commission of First Sex, Justice Adolphus Enebeli, on Wednesday night. This came barely 24 hours after the state governor, Similaye Fubara, while swearing in caretaker committee chairman for the 23 local government councils, said the tenure will not be long as the local government election will hold soon. Already the tenure of the elected chairman and councillors of the 23 local government areas of the state expired Monday 17th, which had triggered crisis in the state for 3 days running. Enebeli, in the notice, called on all political parties and stakeholders to attend a meeting fixed. Now, moving away from that now, you're watching News, Trust TV News. Moving away from that now, the Edo State Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party on Wednesday expelled a former Deputy Governor of the state, Philip Schreiber, for alleged anti-party activities. The PDP SWC also expelled the South Vice Chairman, Dan Obi, while it also upheld the expulsion of a former member of the House of Representatives, Omoribe Obeide Ihama, by Ward 2. Already local government. The decisions were taken on Wednesday at the PDP SWC meeting in Benin. The party said their expulsion would not affect the September 21st governorship election in the state, adding the party was well positioned to win the poll. Moving over to issues surrounding insecurity, troops of 6th Brigade Nigerian Army Sector 3 Operation Wellstroke in Taraba State say they have arrested a terrorist behind the recent attacks that led to loss of lives in Bali local government area of the state. Several persons, including a 92-year-old man, were killed last week in Maraban Asgawa village of Bali. In a statement on Thursday by the Acting Assistant Director, 6th Brigade Army Public Relations Lieutenant Oni Olubunde, the troops succeeded in arresting the terrorists responsible for the deadly attack. Now in the statement, the commander of 6th Brigade Sector 3 OPWS Brigadier General Kingsley Chidebere Uwa applauded the public for approving useful information leading to the capture of the suspect. He also urged all to continue supporting the brigade's effort to eliminate criminal activities in Taraba State. And now to some issue regarding judiciary. A federal high court in Abuja on Wednesday dismissed a suit seeking the sack of Ola Olukoyede as the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission chairman. Justice Obiora Egwatu, in a judgment, dismissed the suit on the grounds that the applicant lacked locus standi to institute the case. An Abuja-based legal practitioner, Victor Opatola, had filed the suit against President Bola Tinubu over his appointment of Olukoyede as the EFCC's chairman. Opatola in the suit had challenged the validity of the appointment on the grounds that Olukoyede did not meet the years of service required by law for the office of chairman of the anti-graft agency. Justice Inyang Ekwu of the Federal High Court Abuja on Wednesday dismissed the fundamental rights enforcement suit filed by the Africa Regional Manager of Binance Holdings Limited, Nadeem Anjarwalla, against the National Security Advisor and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Justice Ekwu, in a short ruling, dismissed the suit for lack of diligent prosecution. The judge said on March 28, which was the date of the previous sitting in the matter, Anjarwalla's counsel, Tonya Kukurubo, had sought to leave to withdraw his appearance in the matter, and the application was granted. He said the matter was adjourned until Wednesday for mention, but no lawyer appeared for the applicant. Nigeria is currently in a race against time to contain a cholera epidemic, with the current outbreak claiming the lives of over 30 persons across 30 states in the country. Now, according to data from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention, experts in the public health sectors have called on government at all levels and citizens alike to dictate the drivers of the infection, urgently provide access to high-standard water and sanitation facilities to communities to curb the disease outbreak and phase out its subsequent recurrence. The report.
Cholera, an acute diarrheal infection caused by ingestion of food or water contaminated with the bacterium Vibrio cholera, is a recurring disease in Nigeria, which recorded its first appearance in 1972. Since then, intermittent outbreaks have occurred, with a severe outbreak surfacing in 2010 and leaving in its wake a trail of about 3,000 cases and 781 deaths. Another outbreak was recorded in 2020, which escalated to several parts of the country for most of 2021. Despite being preventable and easily treatable, children continue to suffer from the potentially fatal disease. The reason for this is not far-fetched, according to experts.
As long as the population continues to grow, we continue to build and urbanize and also expand housing without addressing sanitation, without addressing water supply to homes, then there is still that risk of having these outbreaks of cholera from time to time.
While many Nigerians lament poor access to potable water sources and sanitation facilities in a bid to curb environmental pollution, they, however, try within their means to keep safe and healthy.
We have borehole, and that's what we use basically for cleaning, for cooking, and we take seaway, the one on the dispenser. Yeah, so that's what to do. And then I ensure that my kids wash their hands after going to using the restroom. And by the time I get back from the market, I ensure I wash my hands.
People should make sure that they keep the environment clean, and they make sure there's no stagnant water around the vicinity where they're staying, because these are the things that can also lead to this cholera. And again, the kind of water they use in they drink and they use in cooking. If they are not sure of the safety, the purity of the water, they can boil it.
My water access is tap water, tap borne, and we'll make sure our environments are clean, and especially cooking with clean water is another thing. Since cholera, the easiest way to contact it is through waterborne disease.
I don't just take water anyhow. Sometimes when I go out, if I find out that the location I am, the water may not be good for my person, I just have to wait till I get to a location where I know I can buy water. And some persons might also believe that bottled water is actually the best. It may not be the best, because there are some persons, some individuals that are dubious in their business. They can look for the empty can and pour water in it. So one also have to be mindful of that.
With the rainy season in full swing and fears of possible contamination, there are calls for more awareness on prevention strategies.
People must wash the things they eat, then as much as possible cook what you eat. This is not the time to experiment with raw food, because you don't know where or how it was prepared, where it was prepared or how it was prepared. And the major drivers of transmission for cholera is still food and waterborne. So it's still from food sources and water sources.
Although Nigeria is said to have the capacity to diagnose and treat cases, curbing the disease goes beyond the healthcare system.
For every outbreak, there are predictors of the outbreak. So for instance, in the country today, the moment with the economic situation, you have hyperinflation and a situation whereby access to water, potable drinking water, has become more and more expensive. The way they are able to process this water that they get from maybe rainfall or from other sources, surface water sources, etc., well water and all that, may be where we have some of the contamination and infection that is leading to the outbreaks.
Stakeholders say government at all levels must set up early warning mechanisms to identify potential hotspots and regularly provide situation updates to the population while intensifying mitigation plans and community surveillance measures. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now moving on. For quite some time now, the problem of insecurity across many parts of Nigeria has continued to affect agricultural production effectively, leading to food shortages and threats to other sectors of the economy. Now, in this special report, Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin takes a look at insecurity's impact on crop production and livestock farming in northern Nigeria. His report.
As competition for land and water continues to intensify, long decade of violence between farmers and herders worsen across many parts of northern Nigeria. Farmers are still trying to come to terms with this effect on crop production.
You can see these cattle on this open grazing area, but there is no food. That is how we are roaming about the bush every now and then. All the grazing reserve areas have either been converted to farms or have been vandalized. There is absolutely no place where we can go and graze our animals. That is why every day we are having conflict between us and the farmers, because we don't have choice. These are animals and you must feed them.
Apart from farmer-herders conflicts, the problem of modern farming techniques, fertilizer, seeds and insecticide have continued to threaten crop production and livestock production. The situation many farmers believed to have worsened the problem of food insecurity in Nigeria.
Gaskiya muna fama da yanayi na rayuwa da yake komai ya riga ya sauya.
You see, we cannot be able to produce enough food for Nigeria. This farm that you are seeing belongs to me, but I have loaned it to somebody. That person is paying me to now work on this farm for him, because we, the local farmers, we don't have money to buy fertilizer. We don't have money to buy insecticide. We don't have money to even take care of the farm. So how do you expect us to cultivate? We can't even cultivate even what we will feed our family, talk less of to sell outside to other people.
Across many parts of northern Nigeria, farmers at this time head back to the farm for this year's wheat season farming. At the same time, herders are struggling to feed their animals, effectively creating rivalries between the two similar people.
When you talk of insecurity, you are telling us that there's no, the farmers, not only the farmers, almost everybody would have no time, would have no, what do you call it, to concentration on whatever activity you are doing. So the effect of insecurity on farming means that there's going to be less food, because farmers will not be able to cultivate their farms, and therefore there will be less food. There is going to be inflation. There's going to be absence of, let me say, food security.
The implication of these, according to experts, is that Nigeria is threatened by the inability to produce enough food for the populace, even as dairy and livestock farmers struggle to meet their challenge.
If the government will intensify the effort, at the same time make a vigorous advocacy, awareness, to formalize the informal process of milk collection, milk production in Nigeria at large, there is enormous number of volume of raw milk that can be harnessed, collect and utilized to feed this nation.
Although several government policies, including intervention in the agricultural sector, are expected to take effect, farmers believe that unless farmer-herders conflicts are resolved, fertilizer is subsidized, and modern farming techniques become sufficient, the future of crop production and livestock production in Nigeria may likely continue to remain bleak. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kanu.
For many Nigerians, a plate of noodles is more than just a meal, but a budget-friendly option that brings a feel of home away from home. However, this go-to meal for many residents, which was once a thriving, noiseless business for one family that runs it in Katsina, is facing the challenge of soaring inflation. Jamilu Mobai takes a visit to Katsina, where a family-run noodles joint is struggling to keep its doors open due to soaring prices. Take a look.
For many Nigerians, a steaming plate of noodles is a regular, handy, affordable and delicious meal. Abdullahi's story is a familiar one. For many small businesses in Nigeria, he inherited his popular Indomie joint from his father, and with the profits, he and his siblings were able to graduate. However, soaring inflation is changing the narrative of that success story.
This is the biggest challenge I have ever experienced, this hyperinflation. When we go to markets, prices keep increasing.
The recent removal of fuel subsidy has added another layer of burden. Running the generator on petrol is simply unsustainable.
We can't on the generator. We just had to keep it aside, or you increase price of plates.
Flour, sugar, and other ingredients have seen their prices skyrocketed. A year ago, a plate of noodles with 2 eggs cost 350 naira. But today, it will cost you 900 naira, a staggering increase of over 150%. The story is the same for bread, which has jumped from 300 naira to a staggering 800 naira. The pain isn't just for Abdullahi. His customers, mostly students and small business owners themselves, are feeling the pinch. Abdullahi sees a way out, but it requires capital he just doesn't have.
If to say I have enough capital, I would have installed a solar panel to provide light.
As the nation grapples with inflation, the future of these family-run staples hangs in the balance. Will they be able to adapt and survive, or will the rising tide of economic hardship force them to close their doors? Only time will tell. Jamilu Mabai, Trust TV, Katsina.
And now to business. The average price of premium motor spirits PMS, also known as petrol, shot up by 223.21% to approximately 770 naira per litre in May 2024 from 223 naira per litre recorded in the corresponding period of 2023, according to data from the National Bureau of Statistics. The NBS disclosed this in its premium motor spirit price watch for May 2024, saying on a month-on-month basis, an increase of 9.75% was recorded from 701% per litre in April 2024. According to the report, Jigawa State topped the price chart at 937 naira per litre, followed by Ondo and Benue State with 882 naira per litre respectively. However, Lagos, Niger and Kwara State emerged the lowest average retail price for the products at 636 naira, 642 naira and 645 naira respectively. And now on the foreign scene, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has visited President Bola Tinubu in his hotel for economic and diplomatic talks. The Nigerian leaders attended the inauguration of President Cyril Ramaphosa, who was sworn in for a second term on Wednesday after his party ANC formed a coalition with opposition and lost control of parliament for the first time in 30 years.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's an honor. Thank you. Thank you very much for being there.
Killed after a fire set off explosions at a military ammunition depot in Chad's capital. Government spokesperson Abadaman Kulama confirmed the news on Thursday, adding that 46 people were being treated for various injuries after the explosions jolted residents from their sleep late Tuesday in the Gudji district of the capital N'Djamena. The explosions lit up the sky as thick smokes covered the clouds in the West African nation, setting off frantic efforts to extinguish the fire as residents fled their homes for safety. The cause of the fire was not immediately clear, and President Mahamat Debi Itno said an investigation would be conducted.
To 46. Unfortunately, 5 people died in the hospital, while 5 others died on the spot. So overall, we have 9 deaths and 46 patients admitted who are fully being taken care of in these hospitals.
Well, with that, we've come to the end of News Update here on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all our social media platforms for more news programs and documentaries. Thanks for watching. I am Lilian Ogazi. Bye for now.